New York City basketball is, depends who you ask. If you ask a New Yorker, it's the best basketball there is. We got great basketball, great guards, skilled, a lot of showboat, a lot of aggressiveness, a mentality, a tough mental approach to the game. And so if you ask anybody else from any part of the country, I don't think they see it the same way.
I mean, New York City, for me growing up, you know, in the playgrounds, I think I always tell people it gave me an edge, you know, because in New York City, when you go on, especially back then, it's all over now. The game has grown so much, but there was a time where New York City was the big place, and you know, kind of, you know, everybody looked to New York like, wow. But New York gave me a competitive edge because every time you stepped on the court, you know, you had to have your A game. You know, even as a pro, I played in all the park tournaments and everything, but I knew I couldn't lose. You know, I couldn't lose that one-on-one battle because they would be talking about it the next day. So that gave me a real good competitive edge. So I always had to compete, and I think that's what New York was always about. You know, we had the flamboyant guards, the guards that like to take it to the basket, be creative, but also it was a competitiveness, and you had to compete every day.
New York City basketball, boy, I tell you, it's a state of mind. Okay, New York, you got to be tough to survive. Great competition all throughout the 5 boroughs. Each place kind of has its own bragging rights style of play. You know, you're growing up playing in the street. That's number one. It's street ball. You got to go earn your rep. No one knows who you are. You got to win to stay on the court. You lose, you got to sit, and you kind of get this mentality of being a tough, physical. Not great shooters like from Indiana or other place, because you're usually outdoors and you can't shoot. They're usually driving the ball to the basket. So you got a lot of guards that can really handle the ball. Pavements are not usually even. You got rocks and stuff. You got to learn how to dribble the ball in different types of terrain. So it's just more of a mentality of survival. There's so much competition, such a large city. You know, the passive don't make it, and if you don't fight for what you want, you know, you're going to get left behind. And I think you see that in the style of play, in the coaching, and the competition.
We recruit New York City because of our relationships, and you know, we want to recruit anywhere where we have relationships. It just so happens that obviously with a majority of our staff being from New York and having those relationships back, not just in New York, but in the East Coast, you know, we tend to recruit where those relationships are at.
For the latest on Bulls basketball, log in to GoUSFBulls.com. Follow Coach Antigua on Twitter at USFCoachO. Follow USF Basketball on Twitter at USFMBB. This is Bulls basketball.